Hi, Drecki here, and today I'm reviewing the SJCam M20. This is SJCam's smallest action cam that they currently offer, and it has a unique design compared to other action cameras on the market. With very good daytime video and a nice form factor, this camera has a lot going for it. It does exhibit some of the issues with low light recording that other IMX206 based cameras have. One of the things I really like about this camera is its unique form factor. Because it looks different than most other action cams, I was asked about it by strangers a lot. It's a conversation starter certainly, and a number of people found it surprising to learn that there's actually decent quality cameras that are viable competitors to GoPro, and that they're a quarter of the cost. The build quality of this camera is solid, with nice feeling buttons, and the screen looks great straight on. It's a little hard to see from the top down though, especially in daylight. I really like the big, bright lights on the front and the top of the camera that indicate it is recording. The sound the camera makes isn't very obvious when it's in the waterproof case, so it's nice to have some indication from the outside that it is actually recording. I also like the user interface of this camera because it's very straightforward to change some of the basic settings. In particular, I like how the down button acts as a quick settings menu when on the record screen. Pressing the down button loads all the settings that I'd need while recording, so it only took 3 clicks to change the camera resolution and a few more for other important settings. The full settings menu itself is a little cluttered though. Now on to what you're here for, video samples. In the bright sun, video quality is great. All of the resolutions I tested have lots of detail and the color balance is spectacular. The camera transitions smoothly between light and dark scenes. This camera is particularly well suited to those who will be out and about in bright sunlight, for example skateboarders and surfers. In sunlight the camera shows its best side, holding highlights very well and maintaining a good exposure even when faced with direct lighting. There's no noticeable banding on the blue sky. Any freeze frames I take have lots of detail and motion is smooth. In bright daylight the gyro sensor is very effective and smooths out rough terrain and bumps. It does crop in pretty heavily, reducing the field of view by about 15%, but the difference it makes is worth it for most shots. In mixed lighting, this camera has a little more difficulty. For example, when riding in the forest, 1080p 60 stutters, freezes, and lags as the camera drops below 60 frames per second to try and compensate for the darker lighting. This shot highlights the problem in particular. The footage appears to change speed when transitioning between the dark and the light areas of the forest. Because of this issue, 1080p 60 is largely unusable for anything but bright daylight. From my testing, the 30 frames per second settings do not have this issue. For the most part, they're a lot better than 1080p 60. When it comes to night shots, the camera does hold exposure quite a long time, and when it's completely dark out, don't expect to see very much. I found these problems to be common among all of the IMX206 cameras I've tested to date. The first manufacturer who is able to solve this problem will get my wholehearted recommendation, because otherwise these cameras are fantastic. Audio on this camera doesn't pick up too well when it's in the case. With the case off it's clear and crisp, but inside the case all I can hear is muffled mumbling. Here's what it sounds like.
This is what the SJCam M20 sounds like with the waterproof case on. I'm currently talking at a little bit louder than normal volume so that the camera can actually pick me up. But if I talk too quietly, the camera won't hear me at all.
So this is what the SJCam M20 sounds like outside of the case. I'm currently standing at the side of the road, so there's cars going by, they're quite loud. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that or not. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of what the audio sounds like. As far as still photos go, this camera does a great job, on par or exceeding other cameras in its class. There is a good amount of detail in daylight, and it holds the highlights quite well. It doesn't overexpose or blow anything out. Low light does smudge up a little bit, but I still find them usable for on-screen viewing. Overall, SJCam has the start to a great camera here. The daytime video and still photos are excellent, but the low light video footage needs work. I still gave the camera a 4 out of 5 because I love the interesting form factor and the daytime video. You probably noticed that this video is lacking any comparison to competing cameras. That's because I'm going to be doing a separate video in depth comparing this camera to other competitors in the market, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, visit DreckiTech.com for more. Thanks for watching.